Hey everybody, it's Matt Chu from Upright Health, and welcome back to the Upright Health Podcast. I'm joined today by Mitch, who has joined the Upright Health team recently. Welcome aboard, Mitch.
Thank you, sir.
Today we are going to be talking about, what are we talking about?
Talking about having a physical endeavor and physical pursuit to always be working on.
Yeah, so this is a huge secret, right? So this is the secret to training out of pain. We're going to talk about basically this big missing ingredient that a lot of people just don't think about, and that actually people make big mistakes thinking about in the overall context of their life. So this is something that we've talked about in a lot of our online programs, and something that every trainer at Upright Health practices, believes, knows to be true, and it's something that we wanted to talk about today. For those who end up seeing this on YouTube, you may notice that we're sort of fidgeting and walking around. That is on purpose, because, yeah, it is part of who we are, and if you don't move and use your body, you will not be able to move and use your body. So if you are just listening and you hear some rustling and moving around, if you hear cars driving by, it's because we're in a garage exercising while we're talking. So with all that, let's talk about the secret to training out of pain, Mitch.
Let's do it.
All right. So I play golf. I actually don't. I don't play golf, but let's pretend. So this is a common thing we've heard, right? Like, yeah. I play golf, and my back pain gets worse. I should stop playing golf.
Should you?
I don't know. Tell me, what's wrong with that line of thought?
Well, you're going to stop doing the one thing that gets you outside and moving? You think that that's the best option for you?
I mean, isn't it? If I play golf and my body hurts, doesn't that mean golf is bad for me?
It could, but I don't know if golf is the problem. Do you think golf is the problem?
That's what my doctor said.
This is a pretty common conversation that we have. Why may golf not be the problem, or is golf the problem?
I mean, it's funny, right? I think golf might be part of the problem, right? Mm-hmm. I think for a lot of athletes, the sport is a part of the problem. Like we were just talking about earlier. I realized like some of my hip mobility problems were, some of my hip mobility problems were solved by doing things like weightlifting, and some of my hip mobility problems were made far worse by weightlifting and doing things in a specific way over and over and over again. Yeah. Right? I think that's where it's like, if you're somebody who plays golf and that's all you do and you're not balancing things out, that's where the activity becomes an issue.
Yeah. Most sports are gonna be some type of like repetitive action on like going like one way. So I know for me, like playing basketball, I always jumped off my left foot.
Right.
And I was always rotating this way. I was always rotating to my left. Right. Left foot, right arm. So the other way is something that is just so unfamiliar for my body, something that I never really used. And that, I don't know if that led to any issues for me, but definitely could have.
What issues did you suspect, or do you suspect that contributed to?
I'm not I'm not sure if it did.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't say.
Well, wait. Let's take a moment to dive into that. Do you notice like hip rotation issues, one hip versus the other?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, my right hip has better external rotation,
uh-huh.
and my left hip has better internal rotation.
So when you go to jump up in the way you just described, does that involve more of those rotational forces on one leg than the other?
Most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it would, right? If you're
Yeah.
taking off of the left foot, right leg lifts up.
Yeah.
Seems like there'd be a difference.
Yeah.
Done 1,000 times.
Yeah, and for sure that, like jumping off the left foot means that you cut off your right foot beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pushing away, you're externally rotating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could be a part of it.
Yeah. Cool. So, not to get too lost in there, but that's like a perfect example. I know for me, like in hockey, as a goalie, you hold your hands in a certain way all the time. Like it's always like, your stick hand is turned down, so palm is basically down and facing you, and then your glove hand is facing out. So you're doing very different things on the two arms, the two shoulders, the two hands, the two wrists. Everything is different, and then doing it for tens of thousands of hours definitely has an effect on how the body feels. But I think where people get in trouble is what we've been talking about, is this whole idea of like, well, it's the activity that's bad, and you brought this up last week, was like where it just became really you became very aware of this recently, right? Is just how important it is to not give up the activity.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that piece of it for people who have chronic pain?
Yeah, well, I mean, the activity is, you do it for a reason, and it's probably because you love it, right? Like, I guess we'll stick with golf. Like, if you play golf, you enjoy it. You enjoy whatever it brings to you, mentally or physically. And so, there's no need to think that you can never do that again, even if that is what is part of your issue. I think it's really important to keep golf in your goals, and have that be a measurement for you of like, okay, I know that there's things I need to do to help me out of my pain, but I'm not gonna quit. Doesn't mean that I have to quit the thing that I love the most. Right. I can use that thing. I can continue to do that thing, and let that be my measurement for if I'm getting out of pain or not, or if I'm making improvements in my training.
Yeah. Amen to that. So, what's an example for somebody who doesn't quite understand what we're talking about here? Like, what's that look like for you?
Yeah, I think like personally right now I'm getting in. I've been getting into rock climbing, mm-hmm. and so an example of this is like, historically I have had very minimal hip mobility.
Right.
And so, in rock climbing, if you're not aware, you go at a gym, you go and there's problems set up, and they stay up for a month or two, and so they're always kind of there. And so I'll go try a problem, and let's say I can't open my hip enough to do this boulder problem. I need to be closer to the wall, and I literally can't because of my hip mobility. So I know what range of motion I need, so I can go work on that range of motion, and I can come back week after week and try that problem and see if I can get closer to the wall, if I can open my hip more. And that can be my measurement for it. Is my training helping me?
Right.
Or is my training improving me?
I think that's something for me. Hockey was my big one for a number of years, right? It's just being able to even get into the position of like a goalie's crouch, just being able to get in that position without my hips feeling like they were snapping, popping, and crunching, burning and aching, just being in that position. And the more I was able to do it, the more I realized, like, oh, okay, I'm doing the right thing, right? So I can do this. It doesn't hurt my knees. I can do this. I'm moving faster from point A to point B. Like, that doesn't mean hockey was therapeutic physically, right? Like, I think, right, for you, it's not like the rock climbing fixes the issues, but it highlights it. And I think for a lot of clients, we've heard this, right? It's like, well, golf hurts my back, so I need to not play golf. Well, maybe you need to not play golf as much. Maybe in the short term, maybe you do need to stop playing golf, but maybe, maybe don't think of it as like forever, right? It's there for you to gauge your own progress. Otherwise, what are you going to measure against, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
and that's why we're saying it's the secret ingredient, or whatever we said, because what happens when you're in chronic pain, and your only goal is to get out of pain.
Right.
Like, it's a motivator, but it's not as big of a motivator and as important of a motivator as like, I want to be able to golf 3 times a week again, because that's when I feel the best. I get to hang out with my friends.
Right.
I get to feel what it's like to shoot a long shot. I don't know. I don't play golf.
Do people say shooting shots in golf?
Making putts.
Slap shots?
Oh,
is that
no,
a thing?
golf talk.
I'm going to drive that ball so short. I think that's such a valuable part, right? Because if your only thing is like, oh, I just want to get out of pain, you really have not much of a motivation to do any kind of real training, right? To like really engage with the problems that you're encountering. So if you're just saying like, oh, I want out of pain, well, there's a lot of ways for you to get out of pain. And there's a lot of people who will sell you a lot of different ways, some more addictive than others, and some more damaging than others. So, you can take weak pills, you could take strong pills, you could attempt to cut the nerves, you could try to remove muscles. There's so many things you could do to take away pain, but none of them improves your function the way training does. So if your focus is, hey, I want to train my body to play golf, play hockey, climb rocks, play basketball better and without pain, then you have a super positive, motivating, well-aligned strategy that makes your life better. And you can't ask for more than that. Also, I would say it's probably the cheapest way to live too, right? It's like the most cost-effective thing to do is say, hey, I'm responsible for what's going on with my body, and I need to train it to do the right thing. That saves you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical treatments, alternative health, whatever that means, treatments. If you're the one who's responsible for you and you're making your body move better and showing it how to move better for the activities you love, then you win. You're winning in so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can do is highlight that. That was it.
That was it. So that's the secret. So, to recap, you want to train your body out of pain by focusing on the activities that you love. That means you may need to analyze the activities that you love to see what they're doing to your body. It may mean that you have to take a break from that activity so that you can get a clearer understanding of your own body and how it relates to that activity. And then you want to use that activity as your gauge. You want to use that activity to help you make progress and to understand what kind of progress you're making. It's also possible, right, maybe you need to choose a new activity that tests you in different ways. Mm-hmm. That is a possibility. You don't have to always play the one sport. Just on a personal note for me, I stopped playing hockey because I no longer felt like it provided the movement environment that I wanted for my body, and that it wasn't actually a challenge in the right ways for my body to be good for me in the long term. So now I focus on dance and martial arts like capoeira to force my body to do even more things than hockey did.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, find the thing that you're passionate about, use it as your gauge. That's going to keep you motivated. That's going to keep you moving in the right direction. Mitch, do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah? No? Yeah.
I just really want to highlight what you added about maybe changing your activity. I just encourage anybody to explore other physical activities. Doesn't mean you have to stick with it, but give other things a shot, because you got really into one sort of physical activity for a reason, and there's other ones out there that exist for a reason. So don't be afraid to try other things out, try other hats on, and see if they fit.
Right on. So guys, we hope you found this discussion helpful. We hope you will utilize this secret to training your body out of pain, and that you will look at your activities, analyze what your body can do, and really start bringing it along the path to better and better movements. If you need ideas to help you along that path, be sure to check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/uprighthealth. If you have specific issues with your hips or shoulders, be sure to check out our do-it-yourself programs at uprighthealth.com/DIY. And if you liked this podcast, please share it with somebody who you think needs to hear this. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's your cousin, or that guy at work that you don't talk to that much. Whoever it is, share it with them. And if you could leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening on, whether it's on iTunes or Android or whatever, BlackBerry. That's not a thing anymore. So on iTunes, Android, if you're listening on YouTube, leave us a comment, leave a review where you can, share it. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.
Bam.